Yeah. So let me start in FixedOPS and then I'll work back a little bit.
Okay.
So like a lot of people, when I decided to leave a corporate job, the first thing I started doing was consulting.
Yeah, right.
um, because I thought I knew better than everybody else, which is, I mean, I think you have to have that mindset as a consultant. Like, I got this figured out. But then I realized, well, that's not really reality. But I have always had a process. I still have it to this day of a questionnaire around a whole bunch of different parts of the dealer's business. So I can grab very quick insight into being able to see where the pieces are, what's going on. When it comes to the FixedOPS part, I'm not telling you guys and really your primary audience anything they haven't heard, but it probably needs to be reinforced because for whatever reason, it's the part of the dealership that's moved probably slower than everything else. And that being, how do we merchandise for service? How do we merchandise for parts and accessories? Everything FixedOPS related has been, a second or an afterthought for a long time. And I get it. It's, it's kind of the, it's the sexiness, right? Like, well, selling the cars and that's, the servicing part it's just never been the big priority. However, I always like to help dealers understand this. And I've done presentations on this in the last couple of years where I just walk through as if I'm the same consumer. And I want the dealer to see exactly what the consumer sees. I want them to experience, because we talk about the experience relentlessly. Yeah. Customer experience, customer experience, customer experience. And most of the time when we're talking about experience, we're not really what we don't talk about is, well, what affects the experience? What defines whether we had a good experience or a bad experience? I'll tell you one thing that affects it is time, right? If you waste my time on your website, if you waste my time when I came into your business, that is not a good experience. But it's also a terrible experience, even if I'm journeying through your website and I need to find the best information on, I need a synthetic oil change and maybe a couple of other services. Not only do I need to be able to find that information, in a lot of cases, it's not there. Worse yet, there's not enough of that content for dealers that educates a consumer, that brings them to this level of comfort and trust. And I think I said this a little bit when we sat down at NADA in your booth. We fast forward really because technology keeps coming at all of us so fast that we can't keep up with it, which is not a this year problem. It's a decades old problem, really. Since the internet showed up, it's been a problem. Right. But it compromises how easily we build trust. It makes building trust much more difficult. Some people think it makes it easier. It doesn't, because there are all these different layers. And if I can't go to your website because I bought a vehicle from you and I want these services done, if I can't see how important that part of your dealership, that department in your dealership is, if it's not important to you, why would it make me comfortable, confident, and have any trust that you're going to provide a good experience for me now taking my vehicle to have it serviced with you? And it's the same thing. I drive a Toyota Tundra Crew Max. I love it probably more than I should. I tell people about it all the time. I love to share pictures with it. My children are adults, so I just share pictures of my truck or the country cats that I keep alive in my garage. Not even kidding, because I have a heart. But my Tundra, the dealership did not provide anything on their website relative to all the things that I wanted to do to my Tundra. So they lost a ton of business that they could have done there in service work, accessories, because they didn't have any of that available. So I would say when I'm talking to a dealer to try to help them around FixedOPS, I start with, let's just be a customer and let's take that experience and that journey together. And you tell me if that's great enough. And most of the times dealers, not in a combative way, but they have to be challenged to get as far away from their business as they possibly can, so they get to see it through different eyes, right? They have to see it through the consumer's eyes and their experience, oftentimes before they realize we probably should make a change.